Center for the Ethiopian Educational Information and Communication Technology presents Educational Satellite Television Programs.
Hello, teacher. Hello, students. Welcome to today's lesson on justice and the judiciary. Last time, we talked about equitable distribution of benefits and burdens. We discussed the importance of sharing benefits and burdens equitably throughout Ethiopia, so that no particular group of people is overprivileged or exploited. In this lesson, we will learn about the role of the judiciary in sustaining democracy. We will specify its role in defending the Constitution. Let us begin the lesson, students. Please make sure that you are ready to take notes. Let us start with an activity. Please write down a definition of the term judiciary. When you are finished, share your answer with a classmate.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Welcome back, everyone. Judiciary is a complex term. It is a branch of government. It refers to the system of courts that interprets and applies the law in the name of the state. It also provides mechanisms for the settling of disputes. The judiciary does not make the laws, nor does it enforce them. Its role is strictly one of interpretation and application. Its main task is to ensure justice under the law. The term judiciary may also be used to refer to collective personnel such as judges. Did you answer correctly, students? The judiciary deals with controversies that need to be resolved, and it sentences individuals or groups when the law has been broken. It also has a role in sustaining democracy and in defending the Constitution. As you have learned previously, democracy is rule through the consent of the people. It means that the people choose their own leaders, and they expect the leaders to be accountable and transparent in their dealings and decision-making. In a democracy, everybody's voice is important. People vote for the leaders who they think will best govern the state. All citizens have the right to vote freely, which means that they can make up their own minds without being pressured or told what to do. Democracy is based upon the Constitution and rule of law. Students, do you recall what rule of law means? Take a moment to write down an explanation of rule of law.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Well done, students. I am sure that you had little difficulty in remembering this definition. Rule of law means that the law is the supreme force in the land. It is above everyone, including all those in positions of political power. No one is above the law. Rule of law places restrictions on those who govern and on those who are governed. The judiciary upholds the principles of democracy and rule of law. One of the main elements in a democratic system is free and fair election. Democracy can only function properly when people are allowed to cast their votes for the leaders of their choice. Sometimes elections are rigged. This means that something has occurred to tip the balance of the election results in one particular direction. It is a dishonest practice used to ensure that a particular person or political party gains control. Election fraud can take place in a number of different ways. Sometimes voters are harassed or intimidated into casting their vote for a particular person. This is undemocratic and unconstitutional because all citizens have the right to freedom of opinion. Harassment or intimidation takes away their right to choose. Election fraud can also take place during vote counting. This includes suppressing the number of votes cast for a particular person, or supplementing votes in favor of a political leader. Another form of election fraud is the manipulation of demography. This occurs when authorities artificially control the number of voters in a particular area, known as an electorate, to produce a foregone result. All of these forms of fraud are illegal and undemocratic. In cases of election fraud, the judiciary is called upon to settle the controversy. It is able to do so because it exists independent of political manipulation. The judiciary has the power to say whether an election is fair and free or not. Its decision is binding. The judiciary also upholds and defends the Constitution. When an individual or an institution acts unconstitutionally, the judiciary becomes involved to interpret the Constitution and to enforce it. Students, suppose that a newspaper publishes a statement that accuses a local businessman of corrupt dealings. The businessman takes the newspaper to court for publishing libel or slander. What parts of the Constitution are being violated or upheld in this example?
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Welcome back. The court hearing this case will have to interpret the Constitution carefully to determine how to make a decision. The first constitutionally relevant point is the freedom of the press. The newspaper has a constitutional right to publish information without being endangered by threats or coercion. If the facts about the businessman are true, then the newspaper has the right to publish them. Another point bearing on the Constitution is the right to a fair hearing. This is the businessman's right. If the information in the newspaper is untrue, he has the right to defend himself and to produce evidence to support his case. These examples show how the judiciary must interpret the case according to the principles of the Constitution. This is the end of the lesson. We have learned about the role of the judiciary in upholding democracy and the Constitution. We will learn about crime and justice next time. Until then, thank you, teacher. Thank you, students.